What if you could download everything I learned running over 7 figures in ad spend to generate over 10 million for my clients? Today I'm going to share with you in this videos exactly the lessons learned and exactly how you can take that and actually download it into your brain. I ran an agency which serves over 50 clients in various small businesses and online space. So basically coaching and consulting businesses as well. I went through blood, sweat and tears the last 3 years to run the agency before I left to really pursue something else. It wasn't easy. I literally started with a bit of experience in the dropshipping space, so I ran some ads for dropshipping. So the pandemic was one of the worst time of my life, as many small businesses actually had to close down based in Singapore. But I managed to get more results during that time, as we actually focused more on the info, coaching, consulting space, and I get more of them in a separate unit. So we were desperate to make things work at that point of time, as I had payrolls to meet, team members that I need to be accountable for, and I had partners as well that we wanted to make it work, even though it wasn't working at that point of time. So I want to share this information with more info product business owners, as who does coaching and consulting to really scale, and the core principles of what I have learned in advertising, marketing, and also business strategy, so that you can actually take this tool and use it in your business, as there are very little information right now online. So I'll be sharing these 7 key lessons that I learned throughout spending 10 figures and actually generating 10 million for my clients, and what I learned from them as well. So first thing first, big picture. So you want to understand what is the big picture. Second is economics is more important. Third is creatives are the key to scaling. Fourth is offer is key. And the fifth is red ocean to blue ocean. The sixth is paid ads has a limit. And the last is therapy. Right? So I'll be sharing more of these 7 lessons in the next few minutes. So for the first lesson, most people actually run ads or have businesses with the focus on actually cost per lead or cost per acquisition. It's actually a very narrow view on actually how to scale or in their business. So clients always coming to me complaining like high cost per lead, high cost per acquisition, even though their revenue numbers are better than the previous months, or like their revenue numbers are actually stable, exactly the same as last month. Essentially, you need to look things in a bigger picture, right? A bigger point of, and most people look at a very narrow point of view. They get narrow points of optimization as well. You want to look at the numbers in the customer journey as a whole and not individually. So usually what you take is the macro view, then the micro view. And let's just say in this scenario, you have X amount of leads, X amount of cost per acquisition, and the same amount of revenue, right? And then you can actually break the down numbers into very small micro levels to actually understand that where you can improve in your business. And then you have a big picture overview of where your business is actually standing compared to either average, last month, and everything else. So when you lay out down like that, you actually will know exactly what is going on, exactly what you need to do next, and exactly what can foresee in the next coming few months as well. And when you have a plan and you have a big overview like that, you have less stress on yourself, and you'll be able to understand at a more fundamental level and foundational level what things that you need to do next. So this helped me so much in actually optimizing offers, optimizing funnels, optimizing even the strategy for businesses, and lead me to actually be able to consult them to really scale their business and also identify the real core issues in various strategies or various funnels. So the second lesson that I learned is that the person who can spend the most to acquire a customer always wins. And this is a quote by Dan Kennedy, and I didn't really understand that at the very start of my career. So does it mean that I need to sell very expensive products? Does it mean that I need to spend more money than my competitors and essentially lose money first? Essentially, it is all that, but in a much simpler format I can explain is economics matters. So it just means that whatever you sell throughout your whole business, if you can get the average order value of one customer entering in your business, and let's just say 1 year they buy over $3,000, but on the front end product that you sell is $200, you know that you can spend anywhere up to $1,000 to $2,000 to buy that customer and still be able to make a net profit of $1,000 no matter what. So knowing this information, you should be able to plan for either cash flow and also you feel much sure to spend that $1,000. If you realize how money math can actually play a part in your business and actually help you to scale, you can easily scale it very, very high. So it also becomes clear that why certain businesses are 7 figures and why certain businesses are 6. And understanding this actually helps you be able to identify key areas to improve on, and also how to actually create a longer funnel to actually extend the lifespan of your clients, and also not play in the same game that every other business is playing. When you play a different game, you have a different outcome. Imagine that you're selling a course online right now for $997 via a webinar. Question that you ask is, how much are you willing to spend to acquire a customer, right? So people will say $997 on ads, and if you can make it 2 times more and be more profitable, let's just say you sell a 15k coaching program, after that you have 20-30% people actually buying that, you realize that your average order value right now is bumped up to $5,000-$6,000, right? I don't know the math right now, but that would be roughly the math I would assume. So now you can actually spend $2,000 to acquire that one client and actually get way more out of it essentially in the long term. So looking at numbers from this hypothetical situation can generate way more money and actually be willing to spend way more. And now a question I ask you, will you be willing to spend $2,000 now to acquire this $1,000 customer? So the third lesson is that once you have an offer generating anywhere from 5 figures a month, most people start to be comfortable and neglect this core part of it, right? You can scale it up to 6 figures a month just basically by focusing on this one thing. So when we started running ads for our clients, we were always ecstatic to actually get to 10 to 30k a month in the revenue with our ads. But however, what we realized is that as long as we continue, margins, profit margins keep getting lower and lower and lower. So be it you run a workshop, to a webinar, to a trial, all face the same issue. So the results always drops and CPMs or even ad cost always rises. So cost per lead rises, cost per acquisition rises, and it gets more and more expensive, and we weren't able to actually maintain at the level that we want. So that's when we realized that we have not been testing creatives. So every time it gets to a point where we are break even or like losing money, we panic and we restart the process of testing creatives. So I consulted many different friends who actually were spending 10k, 100k a day on actually how they were doing it for their businesses and why was it so stable for them compared to so erratic for me. So by simply having a surplus, creatives to test at every single point of time and test every single week or every single day depending on your ad spend, you should be able to maintain your results based on whatever you're doing or even make it better with testing more. The name of game of advertising is test after test. The more you can test, the more results you can get. Most people test very sporadically or very like occasionally and they don't really keep it in the system. So what you do is create a system to actually test your creatives, your funnels, your headlines, your copy, whatever it may be, so that you are able to actually get predictable results on a long-term basis. And that's essentially is advertising and marketing in general. So this helps me to be less stressed about creatives for my clients, helps me less stressed about every single part of the process, as I know that every single week we have a new winner or like we have a new winner next week depending on the scale. And this helped me and my business scale from like 1,000 a day to over 5,000 a day in ad spend, and that was really one of the foundational piece in scaling. The fourth lesson is what most gurus actually say. So they say that make your offer irresistible and clients will come, right? And you do not need to try so hard in marketing and sales. That's what most people usually tell you, most advertising agencies and gurus, but I agree and disagree with that statement. So what I agree on is that you should make your offer sexier and sexier and irresistible to a certain extent so that you get clients saying yes easier, but you shouldn't do it to the point that it makes you burn out. So what do I mean? That you want a sexy scalable offer. It means you need to have a balance, right? So in 100 million offers, usually Alex Hormozy say that you want a guarantee so good that nobody can refuse. I agree and disagree to that, because if you have a guarantee that is so hard to fulfill, you basically are burning yourself out. So, and people play on guarantee. So I can guarantee 100 leads, another person can guarantee 200 leads, so and so on and so forth. So the game never ends and you're playing a finite game to who races to the bottom first, right? And with guarantees then comes the price, and then all these problems will happen. So what you want to do is create an offer with little to no objection. You want to create value stacks or like accompanying products to actually help identify areas of objection so that they don't have that objections. So in stock trading offers, in agency offers, in business offers, there are things that people actually ask themselves, objections, and then you can create products or like accompanying products to your main offer to actually answer their objections before you even come up. The second part is to have an offer that has little to no competition. Now, a lot of people does it differently, and for me, I do it in the positioning method, which I'll explain in the next lesson, right? So the last one is to create an offer that serves clients with money. So I can say I guarantee 10 leads, 30 leads for you. And most of the time, I'm attracting an audience that has no money, or like my traffic source attracting people that has no money, or I play in the wrong platform, whatever it may be. So the key thing is that if you want to do an offer, you want to have an offer that is attractive to people who have different problems than people who have problems with no money. Most time, business opportunity offers tend to go towards that side of like people with no money, but I don't like to play in that space, even though I know that it's lucrative. So if service provider, consultant, or coaching clients that do not have BizOps clients on in the BizOps space, you want to think of problems that people who have the level of money actually that you can solve, and actually package your offer in that direction. So the fifth lesson is have no competitors or competition when you get this right? So understanding from this concept point of view is purely about positioning. From the previous lesson, I said that you want to actually create an offer that has little to no competition, and this is exactly how we do it. So the concept of blue ocean and red ocean. So this is a concept that I learned from ClickFunnels by Russell Russell Brunson and also from Steve Larson. It basically made my life easier when I was creating offers and also offers for my agency. So the insight was to really position the offer differently from everybody else. The keyword is differently. Not same, not similar, not better, but different. So if all your competitors in the space are pedaling one angle, you want to pedal the other angle or position the other angle so that you are positioned for success. So this actually really helped people which are starting out, because even if I have no clients, no testimonials or no results, I am able to get clients just by doing it. So previously I had a lot of trouble scaling my offer in my agency or like for other clients as well, because they were always in the same space. The example that I want to give you today is my agency, and I give this to all my friends and people that consult with me as well. We use the 100 million offers as well, the formula, and we're guaranteeing people X amount of leads or appointments. And when I did that at the start, I was having a lot of resistance. So be it my guarantees, and I had a lot of objections that I have no results, I have no client case studies, testimonials, I'm not experienced enough in this space or their niche. I had so much objection, and price is the objection itself as well. I'm charging 2,000 while somebody else guaranteeing exactly the same thing, charging 1,000 or 500. So I reposition my offer using this red ocean and blue ocean strategy. Basically, I bring the red ocean people into a blue ocean. So how I did that is that I realized people having a problem, right? Most businesses were having this problem. They wasn't able to kind of like sell the leads into any offer, be it trial offers. So at the point of time, the people I was targeting were salon owners, and they wanted to not get leads but rather get buyers. So I tried to play around the angle and reposition. We actually took our offer and repackaged it to creating a product or offering, right? A paid offering, a paid trial, you may say, right? And that is essentially just bringing up their sales process. Previously, they will lead appointments and then they pay for a trial when they reach down there. But what they realized that most people were not showing up. So what we did is bring everything in the front to get paid appointments up front, so that the clients will be able to get X amount of appointments guaranteed. So instead of just getting a lead, we got a paid trial for their spa, their salons, their facial, and they also got a lead in the process which they can follow up. So it was a win-win situation. So these leads led us to actually closing our first 30 clients in the first 1 year of business in the agency, and it made our life so much easier to meet new clients, meet new prospects, and actually close them. We had less objections, and we were seen as a different player in the marketplace compared to all the other old agencies. Just because we were different in the angle and the offer, and we repositioned ourselves as we give you buyers, paying clients, rather than we give you leads. That essentially made a shift in our business. So for the sixth lesson is over-reliant on one strategy actually caused complacency in business. So this is true for paid advertising as well. So I've seen so many info companies in Singapore scale up and get burned down literally just by doing this, right? They spend anywhere from 10 to 30k and they get great results every single month. Then they start spending $100,000 to $200,000 a single month, and they get flamed online on YouTube ads everywhere, and they basically get flamed down, right? So they focus on spending more and more money to actually acquire more customers, and however, cost per lead, cost per acquisition rises more and more. It doesn't mean that spending more money equals to more results. You need to identify what is the total addressable market in your space. Singapore is a small country, so that says for itself. And secondly is that the more you spend at the start in one particular acquisition strategy, you are trying to kind of sacrifice your future goodwill for today, and that usually doesn't really play out in the next 3 to 5 years. You can create a business for 2 years and then you close down, but that's not what really most people want. So in a nutshell, never be over-reliant on one acquisition strategy while scaling, right? So you want to actually have multiple strategies. So what we have found that work for our clients is that having multiple streams and diversifying funnel acquisition strategy. So for example, and you can use that to actually scale to paid ads to over 10 million a year. So stuff like lead magnets, low ticket funnels, webinars, workshops, and challenges. Each funnel itself can bring anywhere from 2 to 3 million comfortably for 3 to 5 to 10x returns on ad spend. And if you scale, I think at a maximum you want to actually hit at least a 2x return on ad spend, right? So that's where we are at. So if you know you're scaling, you can don't hit below that 1x returns, and then you are able to actually scale with multiple and diversify your lead sources, your acquisition sources, so that you feel safe. You know that you are diversifying your risk as well, and then you have a robust system to actually be constantly feeding you leads, feeding you new acquisitions as well, and you don't need to be so stressed about it. So the seventh lesson, and the most powerful one that I have learned, is having clarity helps scales the fastest. When you're clear on a path forward, business will be easier, life will be easier, everything will be much, because you know what you want and what you don't want. So I realized this while working with very experienced business owners and also from my experienced entrepreneurial friends, is that they have a clear path of what they want in business and what they don't want. So be it they understand their strengths, they understand their weaknesses, they kind of craft the whole business into a model which suits them, their lifestyle, and their strengths and weaknesses. So this is why some businesses last so long and some businesses don't, right? So sometimes they get burnt out very, very fast, is because you do things that you don't really want to do for the sake of money. And the key, I think, advice that I have is to stop jumping onto the hype. Let's just say funnels is good. This type of funnel is great. Think for yourself whether you want to do it first. Know what strengths and weaknesses that you have, and already have things written down that what you do not want to do, right? So example, if you don't want to do a lot of sales call, then don't, right? Create an offer that do not need to become to a sales call. Be it you do a webinar, you do a lead magnet to an offer that goes to chat to sale, whatever may be, right? Do not create a business for the sake of money only, and understand that what you don't want and in life as well, right? Be it a situation that you're at right now. So sometimes you're stuck in a situation where you need to take all the sales call that you can, and then you are burnt out by it, you will not be able to scale the business. And that is a key point, right? So this led me to understanding fully that not every strategy is one size fits all, right? You need customization, you need to understand what basically you hate to do in business, which is why it led me down the path of learning more about marketing in general, right? Deeper in marketing, not only advertising, and wanting to understand scale from the info business perspective as well, right? So basically, why do people do certain things? Why do people want their business model in a certain way? Led me to actually realizing that on a very extensive level. And currently for my own business as well, here's my own clarity. So I want to have freedom to have 4-hour work days. I want to have, I don't want to have so many calls with clients, right? Basically, be it fulfillment wise, coaching calls, or even sales calls, right? I want to have it minimal as possible if I can. The last one is I want to build a business that's fun and sustainable for myself. Meaning I don't want to be stressed all the time. I want it to be on its own, and that essentially means organic word of mouth must be bigger rather than me spending a lot of money to actually acquire new clients and leads. So knowing this, I can actually really craft my strategy better and find better mentors to actually help me craft this vision and build this business. So even after spending so much money on ads and learning more about marketing and from my mentors, I've never felt that I have all the answers, which is why I created this channel, recreated this actually in fact, to actually share and document all my learnings with more info product business owners and infopreneurs, right? So I found the easiest way to grow a business is to learn from people who have done it before first, and do your own spin on certain things. In the end, we all run businesses because we want to be free, we want to taste that freedom and not make it into another job that traps us.